Welcome back to Basics by Dr. Pranshu Mehta. Well, today I'm here with the topic murmur. First of all, what is a murmur? A murmur is nothing but a sound which is continuous, low pitched, and indistinct. But here we have to read about the heart murmurs. So, what are heart murmurs? So, to understand heart murmur, for now I'll just say they are the additional sounds which are present in addition to the normal heart sounds. Normal heart sounds, the lubbed up sounds, which are there because of closing of valves. So the heart sounds are produced because of the closing of valves. Okay. So now to understand the closing of valves or the additional sounds, first we should understand the cardiac cycle. What is normal? What are normal sounds? So that we can differentiate those normal sounds from the extra or the additional sounds, which is called as the murmur. So I'll be making two videos about murmur. The first one will be discussing about how these sounds are produced, when and why, and then the second video about the murmurs. So first of all, this is the heart, in which you can see that the blood from the body comes to the heart via vena cava, the superior and the inferior. Below we have made the IVC, inferior vena cava, and the superior vena cava. It comes to the right atrium. Now when the right atrium contracts, the blood goes through the atrioventricular valve to the right ventricle. Now when the right ventricle contracts, the blood goes through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. And after being oxygenated, the blood comes back to the left atrium via the pulmonary vein. Now when the left atrium contracts, it goes to the left ventricle, and when left ventricle contracts, it is pumped through the aorta to the body and again back to the heart after being deoxygenated. So you people must already be familiar with this cardiac cycle, but what I want to emphasize upon is that always remember the heart sounds are basically because of the closing of valves. Now we'll see how the heart sounds are produced, when and where. Okay, so again I'm drawing this heart. This is right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Then this one on the right is the pulmonary artery. From the right ventricle, this will take the blood to lungs, and on the left is the aorta. Okay, so pulmonary artery will take the blood to the lungs, and aorta will take the blood to the body. Now let's talk about valves, because these are the ones which are responsible for producing sound. So talking about valves, we have two kind of valves. First, the atrioventricular valves. Atrioventricular valves, as the name suggests, present between the atria and the ventricle. So we have the one on the right side has three leaflets, we call it tricuspid, and the one on the left side has two leaflets, we call it bicuspid. Now see, on the right side, the one which is on the right side has three valves, and it is present between right atrium and right ventricle. Similarly, the one on the left is present between left atrium and left ventricle, called the bicuspid. Now there are two other valves which are called the semilunar valves. These are the pulmonary valve and the aortic valve, present in pulmonary artery and aorta respectively. Okay, so we have seen that there are four valves. Now how do they work? What happens is, see, first of all, the valves are closed when the blood is not flowing through them. Now when atria contracts, the pressure on the side of the atrium increases. Now when the pressure increases, forces open the valve towards the ventricle. It is a one-way valve, so the blood flows from the atria to the ventricle. This is how the valves opens. So the atrium contracts, causing increase or rise in the pressure in the atria. The pressure rises more than the ventricle, leading to opening of this AV valve, and the blood flows from the atria to the ventricle. Now by this time, what happens is the impulse which had originated in the atria and the SA node now reaches ventricles, and the ventricles start to contract as well. Now when ventricle contracts, the pressure in the ventricles starts to increase. Now the pressure increases such that the pressure in the ventricle now becomes more than the pressure in the atrium. So the pressure of ventricle is now more than the pressure of ventricle is more than the pressure of atrium. Now this will again push the blood back. So to prevent the backflow of blood, this valve will close, because it is a one-way valve. It will close and will not allow any movement of blood from the ventricle to the aorta or to the atrium. Okay, so we'll see it here. this was open and now the pressure from beneath is increasing, which will lead to closing of this valve. Now this closure, when the valve closes, this is what produces heart sounds. So when the AV valves close, the heart sound is produced. So a quick revision: the blood comes to the atrium contracts, a valve opens, blood goes to the ventricle. Now ventricle contracts, the pressure in the ventricle increases, and this valve closes, producing a heart sound, the first heart sound. Okay, now what happens is the ventricle is still contracting. Now when the ventricle is still contracting, the pressure further increases. Now when pressure further increases, it forces open the valve present in the pulmonary artery or and the aorta. So it opens because the pressure this time increases from inside. When it increases, the valves, the semilunar valves open, and again there is blood flow from the ventricles to the pulmonary artery as well as to the aorta on the left side and right side respectively. Okay, so now the blood goes to the lungs. So again this ventricle has contracted. Now depolarization is done. Now this ventricle will relax. Now when ventricle relaxes, that is the repolarization phase, the pressure in the ventricle falls. Now when the pressure in the ventricle falls below the pressure of pulmonary artery on the right side and aorta on the left side, these valves again close, just similar to how the AV valves had closed. So now again, when the pressure in the ventricles has fallen below the pressure of the pulmonary artery or the aorta, to prevent the backflow of the blood, these valves, the semilunar valves, close, and this is what produces another heart sound. That is what we call as the S2 or the second heart sound. Now if you're talking about the cardiac cycle, the blood has gone to lungs. Now it will come back to the left atrium. Similarly, the AV valve will open. When the atria will contract, the blood will go to the left ventricle. Now when the ventricle contracts, pressure will increase, forcing closure of this AV valve, the bicuspid valve or the mitral valve as we call it. Now again the pressure will further increase, similar to what we have seen there, causing the opening of the semilunar valve of aorta. Now the blood will flow to the aorta and from the aorta to the body. Now again the ventricle will relax in its repolarization. When the ventricle relaxes, the pressure will fall. To prevent the backflow, the semilunar valve will close again, and this is what I've told will produce the second heart sound. So this is how the cardiac cycle is related to the production of heart sounds. But to know that where and when the heart sound will be produced, we'll compare it with the ECG, like production of the heart sound, ECG, as well as the impulse. So when the impulse is generated in the SA node, it flows through the atria, causing the atrium to contract, and on the ECG we see a P wave which represents the contraction of the atria, that is depolarization of the atria. So atrial contraction is represented by the P wave that we have already studied in the previous video. In case you have missed the previous video, you will get a link of the video. You can go to the previous video of ECG and learn. Okay, so then what happens is the impulse reaches ventricles and we get a QRS complex on the ECG. Now this QRS complex comes when the ventricles contract, and ventricles contract when the impulse reaches the bundle of His and Purkinje fibers. Okay, so this QRS complex, as we know, represents the ventricular contraction, or you can say the ventricular depolarization. Remember this, ventricular depolarization. Okay, now once the ventricles have contracted, after a isoelectric phase, once the whole heart has contracted, there is relaxation or the repolarization. Now this repolarization is represented by the T wave in the ECG. Now we can actually divide this ECG into two phases, the systole phase and the diastole phase. Systole or diastole, as you can say it, the repolarization or the relaxation represents the diastole, and the rest, the contraction, the other part represents the systole. Okay, so I've made a baseline for the heart sound. Now we all know that when the AV valve opens, because the atria contracts, now the blood reaches the ventricle and ventricles start contracting, producing a QRS wave. This increases the pressure which leads to closing of the AV valves on both sides. So the closure of AV valves will happen after the ventricles have started contracting, and ventricles start their contraction in the QRS phase, QRS wave, during the QRS wave. So we get a first heart sound here just after the initiation of the QRS complex. This is the first heart sound. This is how and where the first heart sound is produced. So first heart sound is a sound which is produced during the systole. Now coming to the second heart sound. Now the pressure in the ventricle further increases, causing the opening of the semilunar valves. Now when repolarization occurs, the relaxation starts. When the ventricle is relaxing, the pressure in the ventricle falls. When the pressure in the ventricle falls, there is closing of the semilunar valves of pulmonary artery as well as the aorta. Now this closure of semilunar valve is what produces the second heart sound. Now when does this happen? When the ventricles are relaxing. So when does repolarization occur or the relaxation occur? During the T wave, but not in the early phase when the pressure has fallen. So during mid of the T wave, corresponding to this on the timeline, we see another heart sound. This we call it as the heart sound 2 or the second heart sound. This is produced during the diastole. So we get S1 during the systole and we get S2 during the diastole. And this is the same concept which we will use to understand the murmurs, like what murmurs are systolic or what murmurs are diastolic. When are they produced? Based on when the blood flows through the heart, through which part it is flowing, and the sound which is produced is because of what, opening, closing, or because of the turbulence. Okay, so other than that, now we have seen that there is S1 and S2 heart sound. Other than this, there are two more heart sounds, S3 and S4. However, they are not normal, but they can be there in some physiological conditions. About those physiological conditions we'll read next time. Okay, so for now, as we have already seen that the closing of the valve is the one, this closing of the valve is the one which is producing the heart sound. So the sounds which are produced are the normal sounds, actually I should say, are produced because of the closing of the heart valves, heart valves. Now what other conditions can produce a sound? So to see it, suppose the valves open, but they cannot open completely because they are fixed because of the stenosis. So it is stenosed and only a small opening can be seen, like they open but they do not open completely. So when the blood flows through this small opening, it produces turbulence. Now when turbulence will be produced, it will produce sound. So let's take an example. Suppose you have a pipe and you're giving water or watering your plants, and now you suddenly press it, the opening, with your thumb and index finger so that the orifice reduces. What happens is the pressure of the water passing through that increases and produces sound because of the turbulence. So we get murmurs in cases of stenosis. Now where all we can see stenosis? In the tricuspid valve, in the bicuspid valve, in the aortic valve, and in the pulmonary valve. So any stenosis, tricuspid stenosis, bicuspid stenosis, pulmonary stenosis, or even aortic stenosis will produce a murmur. It will be an additional sound. Okay, other than this, now suppose the valves open completely, but when they close, they do not close completely. There is a little gap. So what happens is, when the pressure in the ventricles increases, it cannot stop the backflow. The main purpose of closing a valve was to prevent the backflow of blood. But when there is regurgitation, there is some opening, it cannot prevent the backflow. Now when it cannot prevent the backflow, again there is turbulence because of small opening, and it creates sound, which is a murmur, additional sound. So we can see murmurs in cases of tricuspid regurgitation, mitral valve regurgitation, pulmonary regurgitation, and aortic regurgitation. So we have till now understood that there are S1 and S2 heart sounds. Other than that, we have S3 and S4, and then we have murmurs, which could be due to stenosis or regurgitation of all the four valves. Okay, so next time we'll be reading about murmur based on what stenosis, what murmur, and what are their characteristics and why. Similarly, regurgitation and other causes. Then we'll also see why there are murmurs which are systolic, why there are murmurs which are diastolic, then why some murmurs are present throughout the systole, which we call as pansystolic, or they are present only for a little time, like only during the early systole or early diastole. Like what is the reason of that? Why those murmurs are only for that time? Why we have given that name to that murmur? So we'll read about the murmur based on the concepts which we have developed today about the cardiac cycle. So, okay, I would like to tell you that we are there on all the social media platforms. So you can follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Just go and search the ENT surgeons. And if you like this video, do like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. And we'll be back with the second part of the murmurs. So be ready. Try and read the murmurs chapter so that you can understand it better. I am Dr. Pranshu Mehta, and this is the channel, the ENT Surgeons. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.